All right, guys. So I have a very extremely inspirational story today to share with you guys. I got an email just this morning from Papstar. He's actually a producer that signed up with SyncEdge, and he just got his first library acceptance from a music library in the TV film world. And that was very exciting, and I was really glad to hear that he had secured his first contract. And obviously, with his email, I could feel the enthusiasm and the inspiration that he felt with that. But he went through some crazy personal stuff in the last year that I don't, I was telling him just before we started recording here that I don't know. You put me in that situation or 10 other people in that same situation. I don't know if we could make it through it. I mean, it was very heavy, very serious stuff. So I got to let you guys know it's fairly heavy, a serious topic here in this conversation. But obviously, I let Papstar know he can disclose as much or as little as he wants to because it's obviously his privacy. But I did want to bring him onto the channel just so you guys could see a real world example of somebody who against all odds, and I literally mean all odds, for every this producer, he shouldn't have done what he's been doing. He shouldn't have been accepted by a library. He shouldn't have gone forward. He had every excuse and every reason to just give up on everything and not even go for it. So the fact that he defied all the odds and just with sheer will pushed himself through this really terrible and challenging time in his life and got to this point where he's gotten an acceptance letter from a library is the reason why I do what I do. I mean, that's why I really had to bring him on here because I want you guys to know a real story from a real producer who is in debt. I can almost guarantee everybody watching here, you are not going through the same kind of thing that he's going through. So without babbling too much, Papstar, thank you so much for joining us. How you doing, man?
Man, it's a pleasure. I'm honored to be on this platform to share my stories and to encourage other producers to invest in themselves. I just go ahead and jump right in. At the beginning of this year, I had two attempted suicides, and that was just because of things that was going on in my personal life. I was going through and still going through a divorce, and we had 5 kids together, so the toll it was taking on my kids, and just me kind of just feeling like basically a failure. I'm a producer. I love music and just, always trying to submit people or get people to hear my product. Basically begging artists, to, hey man, look man, I got some hot beats, man, check them out. And I think a lot of you guys know that rap race. And man, I was just in the dumps, man. And, so I did have 2 attempted suicides in January of this year. Um, I did find help and was introduced to self-development. Just reading a bunch of books, listening to motivational videos on everyday I am affirmations, things like that, that kind of help condition my mind and just to help me kind of refocus. And also April 30th, so after I kind of started getting that going, April 30th, my youngest daughter, Kyler, passed away of a heart infection. Happened all out the blue. Nothing that the doctors had told us previously. We didn't know she had a heart infection. We just took her to the doctor because she was, breathing funny. We went in with her in our arms and left the building, without her, and which is also very traumatic. I had to take a month off work just to, get myself together. Meanwhile, I'm still trying to make music, trying to make beats, trying to put my pain into the music and use it as an escape. And a friend of mine hit me up on Messenger and he said, "Hey man, have you ever heard of music licensing?" And I said, "No, what is that?" And he said, "That's basically where you can get your music placed in TV, films, games, and things like that." And I said, "No, I never heard of that." And he said, "Well, I'm gonna send you a link." It was like this guy. I've been watching his videos. It's a 5-day video series. I've been, every day I watch a video, and I was like, "Well, cool, send it to me." I really didn't think much of it. I just kind of thought it was another one of those things. But I checked it out, and after the first video that I saw of Jesse, I didn't want to wait the 5 days. I saw the link at the bottom where you can kind of watch them back to back, and I just binge watched. And mind you, I don't have any internet at home. So on my downtime at work, I try to invest in myself. And so I was kind of watching these videos online at work. And I said, you know what? This is it. I got to get in this program. The Edge program is what I was interested in. But also I saw the Sync Academy and I said, you know what? I can always learn more. So I'm going to jump into Sync Academy too. It was about $30. And I didn't have the money. I'm gonna be honest with you, and it's crazy, And as a man, and with 5 kids, to not have $30 extra laying around, just mentally already that kind of messes with you. But I didn't let it stop me. I called my friend. I said, look, it's something that I feel like this is something I need to do, something I need to get in, and I just had a sense of urgency. And he said, "Look, man, I hear it in your voice. Look, I got $30 for you. Come by, pick it up. I put the $30 on my Cash App. I joined Sync Edge on July the 11th, and the Sync Academy, and I just started immersing myself in the videos and the courses that I felt that I needed to watch just right off, and I said, man, you know what? I'm gonna do this. And so, after I believe July the 17th, I said, you know what? I'm gonna start submitting. Ready. I've watched the videos, and there was one video that I didn't know that I need to do. I was like, I got a SoundCloud page. I don't know if I need a website. I've done it before. I've done Wix before, and I don't know if I just have the money to crank out every month. And then I seen he had like a little deal. On there, to make your own website in 1 hour. So you know what I did? I put the movie up on one screen. I had my website up on the other, and everything Jesse told me to do, I did it. I didn't waver from it. I wanted some more designs. I wanted some more stuff to look a little flashy. But he encouraged to stay minimal with your website, straight to the point, straight to the point. And so that's what I did. Just trusting his expertise and his guidance. And on the 17th, I said, okay, my website looking good. I got my music loaded up. I had 54 beats that I was sitting on that I had made in the course of maybe 7 months. Nobody was getting them. And I said, you know what? I'm going to cut these down to 30 of the best tracks that I have. I placed them on the website, and I said, well, I'm going to start submitting. And I start looking on the Edge program where he was recommending different websites. Different music libraries that wanted hip hop music or hip hop trap or hip hop hybrid, hip rock. And I said, you know what, I'm gonna submit to these first. And so I submitted to 4 libraries that he recommended. And it really wasn't even a full 48 hours, but I'm just gonna say 48 hours later, I looked at my email and had a contract already ready, an Excel spreadsheet, and from the music library, they were like, "Look, we want to do business," and I was just blown because I have submitted music many times before. I have submitted to different companies, not for record labels, more so for artists, not for TV placement. And pretty much always get turned down because it's the rat race. We're all trying to be seen as producers. We're all trying to be heard. And so I got my flag, I got my music up waving. Hey, I'm over here. I'm hungry. I promise I'll do what you want me to. And they're not seeing me. But then I come over here, do exactly what Jesse said. Invest $30. Listen to me, $30 into myself, and and man, within 48 hours, I got a contract. And I'm not saying this is get rich quick. I'm not saying that that's what I'm looking for here. I'm in this for the long haul. But just to see that, contract being on the table, I even came up with a little phrase after it. And I was like, man, I went from collecting contacts to signing contracts. Like, it's a new level for me personally. And it's giving me an extra boost. And even now, the new album that I'm trying to cook up for to make other submissions. Now I have this in mind. The music that I was making before was tailored more for artists. And so I did understand the dynamics, going up and down and having different elements in your music, so it don't get, boring. So I understood that, but I was doing it for artists. And now I'm taking the same concept and I'm doing it now for TV. So this next batch I'm cooking up is going to be on a whole nother level, especially having the guidance of Jesse. So listen, if you're a producer and you're doubting this program and you're thinking that, man, and I'm even trying not to tear up because this is very emotional for me, especially all the things that I've been through. But if you're a producer and you're doubting this program, you're saying, I don't know about this. Jesse, he's a magnificent producer. He's been in the game 10 years. I'm just getting started. This isn't a pop. Listen, I have a laptop. I have a beat machine, and some internet. that I either use at work or go to McDonald's. Like I'm not a rich man, but I got drive and I got hustle. If you have those things, you can be a player in this game. You can be a player. Jesse has created a platform that is easy for us, educational videos to get you where you need to be. And I'm just proud to be a part of this, and I'm just proud for the opportunity. Guys, you can do this. If I can do this, I know you can. I'm from Mobile, Alabama, deep south, bottom of the map. I'm just an ordinary Joe Blow, with extraordinary drive and extraordinary work ethic. And if you're that guy, I'm telling you, you can be a player in this game.
Man, you're getting me choked up too, because you're saying exactly why I originally fell in love with this industry so much too, is because you're right. I mean, we are just average Joes. We're nobody big. We don't have the connections. We don't have the uncles and the cousins that are already hooked up in the industry. We are outsiders, right? And we came in and we had something to offer. And the fact that you came in and put so much work into it, that's really what it's still. I mean, I get choked up just listening to your story, man, because the amount of work you put into that when you were that low, that's what I really want to find out. If you can share with us a little bit more about what was it that when you were that low, when you could have given up, and most people, like I say, in those circumstances would have given up. What was it? Was it just seeing that sync licensing was a possibility that gave you that push to it? Like, what was the one thing that got you sort of feeling like there is a pathway forward doing this, and especially it's going to be different than what you were doing before, which, like as you said, submitting your beats to contests, out to rappers, out to all that kind of stuff, and just kind of like swinging and not really hitting too much. But now you've got a contract offer, you got something substantial in your inbox. What was the thing that really dragged you and just pushed you out of that funk and out of that just low point where you easily could have given up, and just gave you that determination to actually start doing work? Because I want you guys all watching this to know that, like, my services are helpful, but they don't do the work for you. So he did not just sign up for a program and get a career and a contract handed to them. I want you guys all to be very aware that it takes work, and he spent a lot of time and a lot of work putting together his presentation and his platform and his entire pitch to a music library. But of course, with like the music or the website tutorial, I wanted to make it as quick as possible. That's why I wanted to say, hey, in 1 hour, I think you guys should be able to get something that looks really good in 1 hour, strip away all the BS you don't really know, and just get something really functional. So I obviously try to give you guys the resources to cut down on all the BS and time it takes to get there, but it does take your hard work. You've got to really commit to this and make sure that it's a right fit for you. So if you can share maybe a little bit about what was it when you first maybe heard about sync licensing that got you into that point of like, this is my path, and have you make that split decision of like, yes, this is where I'm going to go?
Well, one thing I saw that it was something that wasn't oversaturated. In my experience as a producer, every little website that you have to pay, you pay a little money, you get on the website and they try to, shop your stuff around to different artists or record labels and things like that. When you look at the memberships and how many people are doing it, it was just so saturated. Everybody's giving beats away for $30, $20 now. Buy one, get one free. My music, I couldn't do that. I couldn't get on that path. So I was looking for something that wasn't as saturated and didn't have a lot of people. So that was the number one thing. I saw that, okay, a lot of producers don't know about this. I've been producing since I was 14. I'm 33 years old now. Started off on a Triton keyboard, and elevated, just kind of grew up as technology evolved. I evolved with it. And so I never heard of anything like this. I thought that the way you get placement on TV was just, you're popping and you got a high demand for you. And so the network or whatever reaches out to you and say, hey, can we put this on our show? I thought that's how it was, based upon your fan base and how well known you were. But Jesse introduced to me that it's not like that, and that they're music libraries. I didn't even know about music libraries. I had no idea that they even existed. And so that was the number one factor, that this is not an oversaturated market. There is room and there's plenty of pie for everyone to eat, everyone to get exposure. Another thing that kept me going was just my why. As a producer, as a musician, period, we all have our whys of why we're doing this. And I have, again, I had 6 kids. I have 5 now. But my why were my children, and my why was also my parents. I see my parents; they're hardworking people. Hard work and a good work ethic, and even having a good attitude in this day and time. It worked back in the day. Yes sir, yes ma'am. It'll take you a long way, but it'll get you to where you're making a living. But it won't take you to the next level. And I just needed something more than just hard work. You have to apply principles. You have to apply execution. Just little things that you have to do. So when you see an opportunity, you can't just say, "Oh, that looks good." Because my friend, he's joined now, but he joined because he saw my success. But he didn't have any success. He was still thinking about it. But I saw the opportunity and I said, "Okay, I don't have the money, just like he didn't have the money to join, but I found it." So it's just that you take those whys and why are you doing what you're doing as a producer, and you focus on that why. Why am I doing this? I want to be able to do just like what you're doing, just to help other people. And that's why I was so honored to even do this video, because I need other producers to see that, hey, there is an avenue for you out there. There is a need. You have Netflix, you have Hulu, and all these other places that are now producing their own shows, and that they need musical content to go on their shows. They're looking for it. And so, that's really what kind of got me through. My why, execution, just executing, what you told me. And just having a mindset of, this is not get rich quick. This is not something, that happens overnight. You have to put in the work. And I knew I had the mindset and the ability to do it. I was willing, I was hungry. So you got to be hungry. You got to have a why. And you got to execute.
That's it, man. Well said. And one thing that I love about your mentality is that you had every opportunity to call yourself the victim, because you were victimized. I mean, by life. I mean, just circumstances outside of your control. You had every opportunity to just say, well, I have too much going on in my life personally. I can't succeed at this, right? So I'm a victim, can't do it. I'm not going to be able to put in the work to be able to do that. And, life isn't fair. So woe is me. If anybody could have said that, you were obviously the person that could easily have said that and been justified in believing that, because, man, the heaviness that you went through. But you didn't. You took all of it, dealt with it, and you're still dealing with it now, but realize that it doesn't have to stop you. It doesn't have to stop your progress. It doesn't have to put out the light on your life. You still can find hope. You can find new challenges. You can find new joy, and new places to go. And that's what I love about your mentality, man. Because I see a lot of people who bash the industry, who say it's not fair, who say this and that. And these are not people who have gone through anything like what you've gone through, man. These are not people who've really had the tough situations you've gone through. And so the fact that you've been in this situation, if you've resisted the temptation to pull yourself into that victim status and not do much with your career, that's what makes you a winner, man. That's what makes you you're conquering already. I know you're in the beginning phases, and now, trust me, your hard work has just begun working with this library. But it always starts with that mentality, and that is what I can see for your future, is the fact that you've already accomplished everything you have, and so early on in your licensing career. You've got nothing but great things ahead of you. I can definitely see that, just because I can see your mentality. Your mentality is the right place. I do interact with a lot of producers who come in and just are always, well, the industry sucks, and people tell me that all the time. Well, you only succeeded because you knew people. Right. I knew nobody when I first got started in this business, so try again. And I didn't have the connections, and I didn't have the talent. I didn't have a lot of great sounding music when I first got started. So if you're racking up all these excuses for why you're not getting started, I hope you watch this video and realize you've got nothing. You've got nothing you can call a real excuse as to why you're not really committing to this industry. If you feel it's a good fit, of course. It's not for all producers and not for everybody. But again, like he was saying, like Papstar was saying, it's your why. Why are you doing this? Why are you interested in committing a good chunk of your life to this industry? If you have those whys down, and I've made a couple of videos on my channel about that, it's a really important thing to spend some time and do some soul searching as to why you create music. If you've got a solid answer for that, and you feel like you've got something to offer this industry, there is a place for you. Trust me, there is a place for you. It's not oversaturated. There's not excuse me, too many people all out doing there. Even if you do a very popular genre like hip hop or EDM or pop, where there's tons and tons of other producers, if you've got the mindset that Papstar has, which is dead set determination, come come anything that comes in your way, you're going to push through it and you're going to find a way to get through your obstacles. He didn't even have internet access, guys. Okay, I think most of you guys watching this have stable internet access probably in your homes, right? So again, one other reason why he could have said, I don't know, I don't think I can get, he found a way to go get free internet access from somewhere, right? So he, again, I'm not going to repeat myself. This is the mentality you got to have if you want to move forward and you want to succeed in this industry and in any side of life, really. Just resisting the temptation to blame others, blame the industry, woe is me, throwing yourself a pity party. It's so easy and it might feel good in the short run, but in the long run, it will not serve you well. And I think Papstar is obviously seeing what the benefits of of resisting that, of just not calling and not labeling himself the victim, not bailing out, of just sort of like sticking to his guns and working hard. He's seeing the results and the fruits of his labor, and quickly. I mean, very quickly actually. After joining, 48 hours, getting that acceptance letter, obviously from his submission. So, man, you deserve it all. You definitely you're a producer that certainly deserves what you've gotten so far, and much more to come. I do see a lot more great things. So thank you so much, Papstar, for joining me today. I know everybody watching really appreciates your honesty, your openness, and for just talking about these issues, man. I really do appreciate it.